So you guys know that it took me forever to find a platform to host my podcast and basically get it off of rachelmedina.com and get it out to the world on all the major podcast channels. Well, I came across Anchor. If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast these days. Basically, it's free, which is huge, right? Especially if you're new. There's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer, which is amazing. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard across all the major platforms, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. You can make money from your podcast too with no minimum listenerships, which is amazing. It's everything you need to make your podcast in one place. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. It's amazing. You'll love it. Trust me, I do.
Hello everyone. Oh my gosh, welcome back to the latest episode of Rachel Unpacked Season 2. Boy, do I have a jam-packed season in store for you guys. Listen, thank you for the thousands, not hundreds, thousands of listens on your guys' favorite podcast channels. I may or may not be posting this to YouTube, but it will 100% always be on your favorite podcast channel or podcast app. So as you know, last season was my very first season, 30-something episodes, talked about all kinds of things involving my personal life. A lot of it was TMI. Some of it was very emotional. I launched my podcast after a tremendous loss in my life with the passing of my son that I pretty much really opened up about in 2 parts. So you can go ahead and check out those episodes if you are brand new to the Rachel Unpacked podcast. So welcome back to those of you who have stuck around and been totally loyal. Don't forget to follow on Instagram at Rachel Unpacked. Let's get started. So in this episode and in all future episodes moving forward, I'm going to be sharing with you a lot of my mindset hacks, a lot of my money and wealth hacks, and a lot of things involving my faith. It'll be, I'll be alternating between those 3 sort of topics or lanes, if you will. If you loved the conversations that I was having regarding marriage and divorce, relationships, and all the things I learned there, you're going to want to definitely head on over to the You Deserve Fresh Lettuce podcast that I have been happily filming and recording and working on with my dear friend Delia. That is part of the reason why you haven't heard from me for a few months. I thought I could juggle both and it just wasn't really panning out that way, and we'll be talking about that as well on the whole time management thing. So if again you want to hear advice specific to relationships, marriage, divorce, dating as a single mother, all of those things, oh my gosh, do we get into it. We get so deep into it that we opted to start drinking tequila or have tequila on deck on the show. We sip coffee as well, but it is oftentimes the funniest thing you'll ever listen to. But we are giving you 100% advice that is tangible, you can apply it to your life, your marriage, your dating situation in real time. It is super powerful. A lot of it is also what not to do, right? Listening to the mistakes that we made so that you don't make them. So head on over, You Deserve Fresh Lettuce. Look for it on Instagram at YDFL podcast, and you will see it there. You could also go to my personal Instagram at Rachel Medina 101, and there's a link in my bio to the podcast. So don't forget to check it out. Okay. And this is for Monday. So every Monday is going to be Mindset Monday, Motivation Monday, whatever you want to call it. And let me tell you that I am going to give you the best gems. I know I'm being biased, right? But this is the stuff that you need every single week on Monday, especially to really get your week started. So enough of all the hoopla. Let's get into it. Basically, today, let's talk about success. I know it seems like a broad scope topic. How are you going to pack that into a half hour show? But let me tell you, it starts at a root. And what is that root? It is a formula. It is an actual formula that begins with preparation. And then when preparation meets opportunity, we're doing math here. Listen, I suck at math. I mean, it's a whole other story. But when you have preparation and preparation meets opportunity, you put those two things together and you get success. Okay. Most people that you see that are very, very successful in anything, whether it is a relationship, whether it is, a business, a promotion, whatever it is, okay, maybe it's something with their health and fitness that you're seeing that you're like, wow, how'd they do that? They prepared themselves to achieve that which they wanted. They prepared themselves. They prepared their mind, their body, their heart, their finances, their wardrobe, whatever it may be. They prepared themselves first so that when the opportunity presents itself, right, for them to have the advancement or the weight loss, the promotion, the job opportunity, whatever it may be, they could say yes to that. And that's where then success is bred. That's where it grows, right? And so that's what we're talking about today. And so many times, right, we get in the way of preparing. I mean, when I was younger, was like a horrid procrastinator. I'm talking teens, like elementary school, junior high, high school, kind of. I was kind of already over it by then, but for sure in junior high. Big time procrastinator. It was one of the first big words I ever learned. My mom was like, "You're a procrastinator." And I was like, "Yeah, I guess I am." And so that's a big thing. And let me tell you, procrastination is definitely, will definitely erode your dreams. You can put up dream boards. You can try to be manifesting things with your mind and, all of these things. But if you are not preparing to be successful, you just won't. There's also a saying that says, you can, what is it? Like you can prepare to succeed or, you could either, like, what is it? Like if you fail to prepare to fail, something like that. I don't know. Deneen, I know if you're listening, you're like, oh my God, I can't believe she messed that up. But it's a real thing. It's a legit real thing. And the reason I wanted to talk about it is because I find that in my business, so you can check out my Instagram, and you can even go to my website, rachelmedina.com, and you can read all about the businesses that I've started and the type of business that I'm in now and how I'm moving forward with that. But let me tell you, 2020 was rough and it was a blessing and a curse, but I can tell you now, I'm coming to you in 2021, working with my team that's now like completely reimagined. It's the same people, but different sort of, oh my gosh, it's just so different because we came out of 2021, completely scarred and scathed and all these things, right? Bruised and bumped. And in now our journey to rebuilding in many aspects of the business, we are realizing that things have changed and that we need to be better prepared, not for an event, but to hire fantastic, powerful talent, right? Talented people. And so we've always been ready to hire talented people. We've always been able to find talented people and onboard them. And we have this amazing onboarding process that we're very proud of. We have great tools. We've always been a telecommute, work from home environment for all of our team members across Southern California. And yet, and still now, we realized, just this month, we realized we need to step up our game. Because ultimately, without stepping up our game in this onboarding area, we are not prepared, okay, for the opportunity to onboard high-level sales talent, okay? Which is really odd because we've always been able, again, to attract some pretty decent, amazing people, and they are able to make money. The job isn't easy. It's tedious. It's like, it's not hard. It's tedious. But, so some people come and go. It's kind of a revolving door in the sales department, which is really a thing for a lot of companies. But if you are listening to this and you have a small organization or a large organization, if you don't have the tools in place for those salespeople that you're onboarding to make a lot of money very quickly, meaning you're shortening the runway between, them making that first call and getting that first sale, you're going to really struggle to hold on to anybody or even attract anyone. So we were realizing that. So now we kind of pushed pause on the onboarding of new sales reps. We kind of came into 2021 so excited. We're like, oh, we're going to hire all these people. And we're so excited to reboot the company. The industry's been reinvigorated, all of these things. And yet we realized we had a weak link in our chain regarding our processes, and that we're not essentially prepared to onboard or attract high level talent. So I'm just giving you that example. For us, it's as simple as adjusting our CRM. If you guys are in business or in sales, you know what I'm talking about. For us, it's just like, let's revamp or upgrade our CRM, and then let's add this tool so that the salespeople don't have to dial the clients or the prospects or the leads. The system will do that for them. We'll leave voicemails for them. I mean, there's all these things that we encountered, right? And we were like, whoa. I mean, we are completely blown away at these tools. Do they cost money? Of course they cost money. But let me tell you now, we are coming into the end of first quarter here, 2021, really, really aware of the fact that we are very prepared to onboard some phenomenal talent, and it's going to help us compete in the market. We're going to really stand out to people because we really got our shit, so to speak, together. Okay. So that is just one example. If you're talking in terms of, let's just say, a relationship, and I know that I moved the relationship topic over to the YDFL podcast, You Deserve Fresh Lettuce podcast with Delia. But I will kind of relay it to this message. And that is, if you are looking in terms of a relationship, if you're still single and you're sitting there going, oh my gosh, and you're making a list in your diary of the 15 things this guy has to have because you want to manifest him into your life and blah, 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 blah. You need to really look at that list. You need to really look at that list, and you need to ask yourself, how many of those attributes do you yourself have? So if you are looking for a guy that's fit and active who likes to hike, are you fit? Are you active? Do you like to hike? Or are you looking to meet someone that brings that out of you? You know what I mean? So that's what I'm talking about. Just energetically speaking, you want to be that which you are attracting. Because that's just how it works anyways. You are already attracting things into your life, and it's 90% based on what you are now, who you are now, what you are now, what you think, what you say now. And it's such a big thing. And the reason I'm even incorporating it into this conversation is because 2020, there was so much content going around and people talking about mindset and manifestations and all these things. And really, I listened to a bunch of that content and I thought, gosh, it just really breaks down to preparation. Preparation meets opportunity equals success. Okay. If you're looking to be an actress, for example, you know that you want to be on a show like Gilmore Girls or whatever it is. Okay. You need to really sit there and go, okay, what do people on that show look like? Right. Are they sort of sexy bombshells? Are they very kind of, humble looking girls next door? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's kind of like, you got to play the part. You got to look the part. You got to speak the part. All those things. Maybe there's no overweight people on that show. Maybe they're all pretty thin or whatever the situation is. So then you go, okay, well, I got to get to work on my body. I got to get to work on my hair color. I got to get to work on whatever it is, so that then when you are taking the steps in the world to connect with the right people, to basically essentially create opportunities for yourself, then if someone's going to look at you and go, yep, you're the one. And then that's how success comes about. So it's not accidental. It kind of seems like it. Sometimes it kind of feels like it, even with myself, when people have asked, in the past, how did you do that? How did you build that business? And how did you get that team together? And how did you hit those 6-figure months. I'm talking 6-figure months. People wish that they had 6-figure years, right? And we did it all from home, and people are like, how in the world were you able to do something like that? And it seems so random to people. And in fact, even when you're in the midst of it, it kind of seems random, even to the person that it's happening to. But when you really stop and you take a moment to really reflect and take a look at when things have worked out for you and when things have not worked out for you, it's not random at all. It's not random at all. That you have to be willing to say yes to things, and sometimes saying yes to things is uncomfortable. You have to be willing to be uncomfortable. There's all those aspects as well. But in this conversation, focusing on the fact that opportunity, right, and preparation are what go together to make success. Oh my gosh, it's such a gem, and it's a great place to start season 2. Because this is truly the foundation of it all. I know for me, I've talked about being single or dating, high level men and all this kind of stuff. And not very many, I shouldn't say high level men. I mean, it's been like, there's one over there. There's another one over there. But what I do know is that because over the years I've either lost a lot of weight or gained some weight, like now I'm kind of like on my way back down, and but then I was back up. I'm even having to go, what does a high level person, date? Like, who does a high level person date? If I know I want to date someone who is fun and funny and that I find to be attractive, but then I can also just like chill, and relax with, but yet we can take a spontaneous trip to Palm Springs or Europe or whatever that looks like, then I have to think about the terms financially. Like, do I want someone that makes as much money as I do, more money as I do? Things like that. Well, now that starts to shift what that person is likely attracted to. And that's when you go, okay, if I want A, B, C, and D, I need to do, X, Y, Z. Period. It's just what it is. It's just what it is. So for me, I know I need to prepare better for my love life to flourish, because I personally block myself. I do it subconsciously, consciously, all the things. I block myself because deep down inside, I know I'm not prepared physically to live my best life romantically or whatever it is. I just know that. And this is like a huge TMI, right? But I'm being very honest and very open and transparent so that anybody listening can really understand, because so often we don't want to do the work, but we want all these things that we are told that we can just really focus on, and that we can do all these little things and prayers and all these things to make it happen. And a lot of it starts with us. I mean, listen, I'm a faith girl, like big time. Like, I believe in the power of prayer and all things are possible in Jesus' name, all those things. But I also recognize that we need to resonate the very thing that we're looking to attract. Okay. You want a really smart man? Read some books. get Audible or whatever. Start listening to books, read articles, whatever it is, just kind of know a little bit about a lot of things, and you'll be okay. Be able to carry a conversation, things like that. But, it's about being prepared. And so if you want to buy a house, for example, wow, do we not see this housing market? Crazy, right? Well, guess who's taking advantage of all this stuff? The people that were prepared. They either worked on their credit and they got their credit score up, or they've been saving for a few years for a down payment. They are prepared. And so then now they're seeing an opportunity and they're jumping on it. Now, right now, listen, I'm a businesswoman. So the only opportunity I think that they're excited about is the low interest rate. But, these prices are kind of like out of whack in my personal, humble opinion. But, at the end of the day, there's people that are seeing this as an opportunity, but they were prepared for that opportunity. And guess what? Then the market will dip again and it'll correct itself. And there's going to be a whole other slew of people with a slightly different mindset and different vantage point that are going to see that as an opportunity, right? And so again, you have to be prepared though. And so anything that you want in your life, it's this is a reminder that you can actually attain it. You can actually attain it no matter how crazy it sounds. You just have to understand there's a pathway to it, and it takes preparing yourself. And it takes preparing yourself mentally, physically, psychologically, emotionally, all that. Here's what I mean by preparing yourself mentally. There are people who want to win the lottery. I have said many times when people say, what do you want to be when you grow up? It's a joke. I'm in my 40s. But I still go, I'm almost I feel like I'm phasing out of this line of work that I've been in for so long, and I want to do new things. Obviously, I'm doing this podcast and sharing, and I want to help more people. But when people ask me, so have you ever thought about like what you want to do next? And I say, yeah, when I grow up, I want to be a lottery jackpot winner. Easy breezy, right? Ask and you shall receive, speak it and you shall see it and have it in your hand. You should hold it in your hand, right? So, of course, I say, I want to be a lottery jackpot winner, and I get all excited, and I get the feels, and people laugh, because it's so funny, ha ha ha, doesn't everybody? But let me tell you, you might want that. You might go, okay, Rachel, fine. I can have anything I want. I want to be a lottery jackpot winner. But if you really think about that, and subconsciously you have a block, there. Somewhere in there, you have these voices that say, ooh, if I won the lottery, I'd have to keep it a secret because then my family and everybody that I haven't seen in years is going to come out of the woodwork, and they're going to come out like little cockroach bugs out of the, from under the rocks trying to get something from me. And then, oh my gosh, can I trust my bank, because maybe I believe that the banks are against us. And then, where do I put it? And I mean, you know what I mean? There's like all these things that we tell ourselves. There's these voices that we have in our heads that are like either talking us into things or out of things. And so it's important to really kind of gut check that, check your motives, listen, understand that there are these negative voices that are speaking to you, and you have to find a way to remove that dialogue. Just like when you're starting a business. You're going to have this great idea. You're going to feel it. You're going to feel that it's a good idea. You know how you know? You have a good business idea because you can come up with 50 scenarios for that business. Whether that's baking cakes for a living, you can instantly imagine all the different cakes and all the different reasons people are going to buy and what your social media is going to look like when you bake these cakes. Like the vision, it just never stops. It's like a flood of creativity and ideas and solutions that come about, right? That are confirmation, I should say, that you are onto something. And so, when you look at that and you go, but what's my mindset around that? Do I then go, oh my gosh, but then what's my family going to say? And how do I start an Instagram and start posting? And then they're going to see that I'm starting this like baking business, but then are they going to criticize me? And then are they even going to order from me? Or maybe they're going to order from me, but then, that's it. Then no one else is going to order from me. And then my family and friends are going to see that, and that's embarrassing. So if you have this dialogue that's playing in your mind, you got to get rid of that, right? Because that's actually blocking some of your success. And you have to get to a point where you accept that you are ready, that you have to trust that you have done the work to prepare. Now, I shouldn't say ready, because there's a very popular saying in the business world that says, if you wait till you're ready, you waited too long. You're too late. Okay? So there's never a good time to start going after your dreams. There literally is never a perfect time to pursue your dreams or your goals. Like, there just isn't. There's always going to be something or someone or whatever that's blocking you and causing procrastination, like I mentioned earlier. So all you can do is just do what you can to prepare, but don't overly prepare. There is a thing called paralysis by analysis, is when you're like, let's just say you're designing a t-shirt business. Maybe it's like this really cool online t-shirt business, and you're like, the website's up, but the store isn't live because you're designing this type of shirt, but then you change the color, but then you don't know about the logo. And then, you know what I mean? Like tidbits, like you're just like moving this, but what about that? Okay, maybe I should order 100 of those, but then what about the other size? You know what I mean? And you go on and on and on and on and on, shifting and moving and changing. And then guess what? You're never done. You're never done. The creative part's going to always be an infinite thing that changes. It's going to be the most constant thing in your life is with that business is going to be the creative and changing things around it. So you have to get good at go. You have to just get good at go, but you got to be prepared. And what I mean by that is, you probably should, open an Instagram. Cool. Go ahead, set up a website. Great. Adjust the link in your bio, create a logo. Boom. Right? Go to, Canva, create some content, that you can kind of start to, in the background, look at the colors and things like that. Maybe go to the bank, put $100 in a business bank account. Actually, there's all these other steps you got to take before you do that. But take those steps, right? Take the steps, move forward. But as you're thinking about the business, secure the Instagram, secure the TikTok channel or whatever. Secure those things, Pinterest, whatever it is, and start moving forward and securing the domain, all those things, because that's you preparing. But make sure that the runway between idea and go mode is really short. Make sure that that's like super short. Like make sure it's no more than like a month. I mean, that seems to me even like a long time. The business that I built, with my team that I'm so proud of, it was an idea. It was like, I had no choice. And I've told this story before. So it was like, today I lost my job as a single mom who had just moved into a new house, and I had just bought a car and all these things. And then it was like, lost my job. And so the next day, like I had to just like figure it out. And then a week later, that same first week, I sold my first account and I was in business, and I took, the money from them, this check, to go open, a business account. And so it was literally from one event to an idea, which was 24 hours. And then from that one idea to like go, like I got my first client to like open the bank account, and now I'm in business was like a week, a little bit less than a week. You can do it. You can absolutely do it. Whether, again, it's your physical self, whether it's your relationships, no matter, maybe it's just your house. You know what I mean? Like maybe at the end of the day, it's just your home. I know that I started kind of clearing things out. Like I would empty these like bins and then try to get organized, but it would actually make a bigger mess than I even had before, which is so annoying. I mean, who's with me? Oh my God. And then the little piles would just kind of stay there. And then it was like, what am I doing? Because you don't feel settled and stuff like that. It's like, no, you need to clear out the space. Like just decide and then do it. Because guess what? Clearing out all the clutter in your house is going to prepare you for something. It might prepare you for the move. You might be thinking, gosh, I wish I can get a new house, but I don't know. Clear out that clutter, and all of a sudden you'll see that, you know what, you're ready to move. Like we got a storage unit. My son had to convince me. He's like, Mom, let's just get a storage unit. We're not really pack rats or whatever they call it. We don't hang on to things. We're not hoarders. But he recognized that if we had a storage, we can put all of the kind of important things or whatever in the storage, because he was kind of envisioning, because if we move, we don't have to worry about it. Like if we move, it's going to be an easy move, right? And so it was like he put the solution in place before the opportunity showed up for us to move. So that's what I wanted to share with you guys. I hope that this podcast is giving you the motivation you need today on this lovely, amazing Monday. You have everything within you to succeed. You have everything within you to succeed in your life, in your family life, your professional life, in your physical life. You just have to start taking steps to prepare yourself to receive the opportunity that's going to really come together to create the success in your life that you're looking for. So thank you so much for tuning in. Again, don't forget to look at the links down below. You can check me out at rachelmedina.com. I'm actually going to be launching some courses. I know, right? Everybody and their mother is launching courses. And I look at these people and they haven't even had a business. They haven't even started a 7-figure business or a 6-figure business for that matter. They're just making money selling courses because they make money. But go ahead and check out the link. Don't forget to go and enter your email. Basically, you're going to go in, you're going to sign up with your email, you're going to register so that when they go live, you'll receive an email from me, letting you know here are the courses you can take to really ramp up your business. And I'm even going to do one simple course that's going to help you go from idea to your first 6 figures. I was going to do 7 figures, but some people have simpler ideas. And basically, a lot of people don't even know what to do. They have an idea and they don't know what to do with that idea, what's the next step. And so I'm going to give you those steps. And then beyond there, if you want to know how to sell, if you want to know how to market your company, if you want to know how to hire people, I mean, all those things are going to be in these courses. So you're definitely going to want to check out the link in my bio if you're on social media, Rachel Medina 101, or you can go to my website, rachelmedina.com, and then you'll see the links there to go ahead and enter your email. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please share this podcast with a friend, a girlfriend who is looking to start a business, no matter how small. Share this with her. Share this with anybody who has to sit on the freeway to go to work. Maybe they feel like they're at a dead-end job. This is going to be the podcast for them. I'm going to be that voice of reason for you to help you either get a raise at the job that you have, to get a promotion, to start your company, all those amazing things. So stay tuned and have an awesome week.